Hello and welcome to CXP On Campus. I am your host, Jacob Brothers, and I am joined by my other host, Erica Sadora, and we have a very special episode this week. Erica, what makes this episode so special?
We're going to be talking about the CECC May Madness, and this is the biggest collegiate event of all time. Jacob, what is the nitty-gritty details of this event?
Yeah, so the CECC took place over 2 days. It involved 4 games of Smash Brothers, Overwatch, Rocket League, and Valorant, and there were 60 teams who competed in this event. And so we wanted to have a special episode just highlighting this event from start to finish, just showing you guys how awesome this event really was. And we talked to 3 absolute stars. We talked to Angela Bernhard Thomas, who is the EVP of Esports for EsportsU. We talked to Andrew Ross, who is the esports coordinator for the University of South Florida. And then we wrap up with a chat with Eishan Jaffer, who was the MVP of the Valorant for the Valorant bracket for San Jose University. All of that in this awesome episode. Don't you move a muscle. Hello and welcome to CXP. Jacob Brothers here, Erica Sadora there. We are joined by a very special guest. We are talking to Angela Bernhard Thomas, the EVP of Esports for EsportsU. She was the event organizer for May Madness. Angela, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you very much for having us.
Absolutely. So as the event organizer, and you led all the planning, I can't even imagine how much work that was for an event of this size. But now that we're past it, what were your impressions of May Madness as it was happening? Was it everything that you hoped to achieve for the event?
Well, my impressions were the most important thing to me is how the student players felt when they were there. What was their impression? And our number one goal of the entire event was to create an experience that elevated the players, that they could come and feel a camaraderie and meet up with all the teams that they've been competing with throughout the season and really focus on the player experience. So, for instance, the first day on Friday, we gave a complete red carpet welcome to every team. 272 starting players and about an additional 150 support staff that traveled with those teams. So all in all, we have over 400 players and coaches and admins and substitutes traveling to the event. We gave them a huge red carpet welcome. We gave them a complete media day where they went into media rooms with green screens and took their photographs, and everybody got to do a hero shot. We interviewed every coach. We had over 7 hours of interview content that we captured at the event. And we did something really special that we're the only group that we know of that does it. We give away commemorative jerseys at the event. So we have jerseys with the their gamer tag on the back. We had all our sponsor logos on there, Barbasol, McDonald's, New Street, Oakley, and Microsoft CDW on the jerseys, and the sponsors, sponsor that commemorative activity that we do. So my impression, I felt very, very great about the warm reception that the players were giving us and saying this is a wonderful thing that you guys are doing, and just a sense of appreciation and gratitude for the ability to come together in a live event experience like that.
Angela, it sounds like you're giving all of these student players a professional experience that they deserve. And in the collegiate scene, that's really important because you have students who are a little bit iffy going to the scene. But when you're hosting an event like this and you're making them feel important of what they're doing and what they love, I think it's going to grow the community a little bit more. So I want to ask you, how important are live events for collegiate esports?
Well, we think they're very important. We had a little lull in live events during COVID, but last year we did end up doing 2 live events in the fall. We did one in Kissimmee, Florida, and we did one in South Bend, Indiana. We regularly hold regional events. So 2 of our regional events, we held them in a live venue, and then 2 others we did in a virtual format. I just can't tell you the reception that the students give you for this. A lot of them, it's their first time ever competing in a live event. A lot of them have never been on a stage. performed in front of an audience. They've never really been elevated the way we elevate them when they come to a live event. So we think it's very important. Not only is esports, a competitive environment, but it's a social environment. And we also believe that it's, the workforce of the future lies in these players, and, anyone that's interested in STEM. We try to do a lot of behind the scenes, student-led production, student-led casting. So we also use it as an experiential teaching tool as well. And so, we believe they're very, very important. And going into fall season, we just did our planning for fall season. We're going to have 2 live events in the fall, 2 live events in the spring season of 2023, and of course our big Commissioners Cup in May of 2023 next year.
Oh, that's so awesome. So one thing that was interesting about May Madness, I think, was that it was a festival as opposed to like a traditional esports tournament. So do you think that the success of this event, or rather, do you think that it was a festival kind of helped influence the success of an event? I said awkwardly, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's very important. Marketing for esports events is somewhat of a big mystery. It's even a bigger mystery for collegiate esports. So essentially, we pulled every trick out of the hat that we had to get people to come and enjoy the event. And, we ended up selling 2,500 tickets to the event, which we were very, very happy with that number. And we did a lot of that through partners that were participating in the event as well. For instance, we had an entire parking lot, the Sky Lot, right outside, one of the doors in the venues. And we had out there the Atlanta Falcons, and they were doing a football toss out there. We had the Army Air Force AR truck, which travels all around the country, and you can go in there and do, simulation training, flying an aircraft in there. We also had the Hawks, Skyhawks out in the parking lot, and they were shooting hoops out there. We had a DJ out there, DJ Tony K, who's a big Atlanta DJ. She DJs for the Atlanta Hawks. We had 5 food trucks out there. So we really created like a whole experience outdoors. And then inside we had, we invited a lot of local Georgia organizations to come and activate there, like NASEF and GSEF, the scholastic organizations. We had Skulls there, Ghost Gaming. We had an entire recruitment area where 12 schools set up booths with all their, esports recruitment materials, and the high school students that came there got to, meet, coaches and athletic directors that offered scholarships for esports. So I think the festival part of it was a really big part of our success. We had cosplayers there. So we just try to really activate micro communities inside the gaming space.
So when you talk about micro communities, for those who weren't able to attend the event, I know it was streamed 24/7 on your Twitch channel. What was featured on your Twitch channel that you can tell us about?
So our Twitch channel, as you know, our EsportsU Twitch channel, we do 24/7 collegiate content on our channel. It's not all live, but we do 6 hours of live collegiate content every day. And at the same time, we capture 6 hours of student produced and student casted content every day. So we curate the best collegiate esports matches going on every day. We put high-end broadcast graphics around them. We hire talent. Some is, semi-pro, pro talent. The other is student talent for hosting and casting. So we are really into creating, what we would call best-in-class content on a daily basis. And that was our goal for this event, was to create a best-in-class experience. And like any event, there are some technical issues that happen. It's almost a given that's gonna happen. But I think we worked through everything and handled it. And I think Sunday was our best day of broadcast. So we're really proud of what, the end product was, and more so even just the feeling that everyone left there and the players. We hope that they'll be ambassadors, out in the community out there, spreading a good word about their experience at the event.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the event, you've already talked about how bright the future is for EsportsU in the upcoming year. For the Commissioner's Cup, how do you hope to improve it or expand it in the upcoming year?
Yeah, so we have a lot of ideas. This was a great learning experience. And part of our whole strategy, everything we do throughout the year sort of leads into the Commissioner's Cup. And part of that strategy is really leaning more heavily into education. We believe that, gaming and tech is really going to revolutionize many, many industries. Across automotive, training, medicine, medical, everything is going to look different. Businesses are going to look different in the future. And we believe that education is a very important part of driving the future workforce and the leaders of tomorrow. And we see ourselves sitting in the middle of that, EsportsU as sort of the great accelerator and making the connection between gaming and education. And so that's our goal. We'll get ramped up for our big event next year. We'll be adding things that add more value back to students in the long run. Like, for instance, we want to add a complete scouting feature. So at our event next year, we will invite high school students there, and it will be an entire scouting experience where you can come and compete in games, and we'll have coaches that are there watching you and able to, speak with you, and it's going to be very competitive for those scholarships that are going to be given out for esports next year. So we're going to just keep adding to what we're doing and making it better, refining it, bringing in the right partners that sort of align with our vision. Our train is going, and we're going to be, very selective about, which partners come in and work with us and share our vision and our long-term, hopes for collegiate esports. And so we're looking really forward to growing that.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to that too. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Angela, thank you so much for talking to us today. It's been a pleasure, and we wish you guys the absolute best for all of your events coming up in the upcoming year.
Thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate any exposure we can get. Thank you.
Of course. Welcome back to CXP On Campus. Jacob Brothers here, Erica Sadora there, and we are joined by a very special guest. We are talking to Andrew Ross, the esports coordinator for the University of South Florida. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here with the both of you. Thank you so much.
Oh, shucks. Absolutely. So just starting from the very top, you just came from May Madness, the biggest event in collegiate esports history. So from the eyes of a coach, just walk me through, just from day one, your experience at the event.
Yeah, so the event I think was really exciting for our players. I'm all about the player experience and getting outside, especially as we're still slowly coming back from the pandemic, being able to attend a LAN. We were able to attend the regional in Kissimmee, Florida, which is how we were able to qualify for the tournament in Atlanta. And driving up there, it's always great just getting to know the players, even on a more personal level. They had just finished school, so they had just gotten through finals week, so that was a huge relief for them. And then just being up there, being able to play the games that they love and the hard work that they put in all semester long to be able to compete against other schools from across the country, I think was a dream come true for them. So I thought the event was fantastic. There was so much activations, a lot of different things for the players to do in their downtime. Overall, I was really satisfied with the event, really happy with it.
So you talk a little bit about the player experience, and I love the player experience, and I'm sure your students did as well. There were 4 games that were played at the event, and your teams played in 2 of them. How well do you think your players represented your university and the teams themselves?
Yeah, so our teams that were represented were for Rocket League and for Overwatch. I think our Rocket League team was a little bit higher seeded, and they played If you asked me, I think they did just fine. I think they played great. I think the players themselves, they would have liked to win a couple more games, but overall, they beat the teams that they were higher seeded against, and then they took a couple of games. They dropped a couple of games against some really great teams. And the Rocket League community is so close. All the players are always going back and forth on Twitter together. And for them to be able to meet each other in person, I think that's what they were looking forward to even more so than the competition, was finally meeting all of these just avatar photos from their Twitter accounts in person. Overwatch, they have worked so hard this year. They've probably been one of our hardest working clubs in terms of from where they started at the beginning of the fall to where they finished now here at the end of the school year. So they beat a team from California who they said that was the best team they have ever beaten in terms of SR rank and things like that. So they were really happy with their performance, and I know that they made a lot of great memories.
Yeah, you mentioned meeting people who were just avatar pictures. One question I have, because we talked to one of the organizers of the event and like all of the effort they put into like making it feel, I guess, bougie for lack of a better word. And so, did you feel like the legitness of the event? Like, do you feel like, hey, I'm an esports coordinator, and my players are feeling kind of like royalty right now. Like, was there a little bit of that going on?
Oh, definitely. Like the moment you walked in the front doors to the event and you saw the main stage with all the lights and the PCs up there, you were like, wow, like this is real. Like this is stuff you might watch if you watch pro streams on streaming channels, Twitch, YouTube, whatever it may be. But to actually be there and to experience that, and then behind the main stage was the 50 computers that everybody was competing on throughout the day, and it was a lot to take in. But when you get settled in and you get comfortable and you just get to watch your players like have a great time, like I just love seeing the smiles on their faces. That's what makes my job so great, is getting them there, making sure that they're safe, making sure that they're competing with good sportsmanship, being good people, and then having fun and smiling and having a great time playing the game that they love. So overall, it's a great experience to be in a position like this.
So awesome. What is your experience with live events? Because you mentioned one live event previous. Have you been to many live events, or is this kind of a newer thing for you?
So I have two lands under my belt. One would be the CECC. Well, I guess it was the regional event was in Kissimmee, Florida, which is about an hour and a half down the road from where our university is. That was great because we got the teams to qualify, and that was more kind of local competition, in the southeast region. And then we also hosted a LAN here at our university, which was what we called the Battle for Florida Rocket League tournament, where we had Florida, UCF, and Florida State all come in. We had it at our Oval Theater here on campus at our Student Center. And that was a great experience because we got to run it and produce it and set everything up. And so, yeah, two LAN experiences and now three with the Atlanta competition. So looking forward to growing that number even more next year.
Andrew, you're like a ray of sunshine talking to us right now. I want to talk more about the player culture. Do your players replicate the same amount of positivity as you do? What's the player culture like, and how would you describe your players?
Yeah, so I hope that the players kind of get to exuberate as much happiness and joy as I try to. And at USF, the way we do it is we're a club program. So each game is their own individual club. So for Rocket League, for example, they are the Rocket League club at USF. For Overwatch, it's the Overwatch club. And we have 12 total different clubs that compete under a sport club model. And I think that gives the players even a better experience because they all get to be leaders within their own clubs. It's not me as the single person saying, hey, you need to compete in this league or you need to compete in this league and you're practicing at this time. They set all that self up themselves. So really that lets their leadership skills shine through, which I think makes the experience that much better for them because they get to know their teammates. And I think our university in general here in Tampa at South Florida, we have a very diverse community. We have a very large international population, and so our demographics, it's always an opportunity to meet somebody who maybe came from a different background or a different country from you, but you're playing the same game and you're competing together on the same team, and that's always great because you get to sit next to somebody who you didn't grow up with, who's probably not even from the same town, state, or country as you, but you get to compete for USF, and I think that always provides such a great experience and a lot of learning opportunities for them.
Yeah, do you think that leadership structure that you just talked about, do you think that helps your players play at their top level?
Yeah, I think so because it's something that anytime they enter into a competition or they enter into a tournament or run a practice, it's on them. So I think that they get invested and they buy into the program even more. And we have students who come to me and they reach out and say, what more can I do? Right? Like I'm already involved with the Rocket League Club or the Overwatch Club. What are the next steps I can take to help better esports at the University of South Florida? I mean, when I get those students who come into my office and just try to get involved in those different ways, that just makes my life so much easier because now I have students who we can give projects to or who actually come work for us part time as student staff to help us with casting or production or supervising our esports lab space. And having students who work for you who are invested in the program just makes it that much better. So it's a whole ecosystem of esports at USF where everybody's playing a different part, but everybody just wants to advance our esports program and take it to the next level.
So awesome. So for students that would want to be involved with your program or get into contact, where can they find you?
Yeah, so Discord, of course, is the easiest. I'm literally I make the joke that on my business card, on my USF business card, I have my Discord ID. I think I'm the only one at this university who has my Discord ID on their professional business card. So you can reach out to us on you can reach out to me on Discord. Join our esports Discord, USF Esports. We're growing. We have over 3,000 members in our community now. So if you are a student or not, even if you don't come to USF, we have drop-ins and community nights and a bunch of different fun things that our clubs love to run. So yeah, that's the best place to find us, or on our recreation and wellness website. So if you just Google esports recreation and wellness USF, you'll find our page there with all of our information as well.
Fantastic. Well, Andrew, this has been really awesome. I wish you guys the best in your upcoming year of play, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You're both fantastic and awesome, and so thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
What's going on, guys? CXP back. Jacob Brothers here. Eric Sador there. And we are joined by a very special guest. We're talking to Eishan Jaffer, a Valorant player for San Jose State University. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yep. Thank you guys for having me.
Ishan, I wanted to talk about your amazing plays during the Northwood game. It was phenomenal seeing you top frag constantly, and you're usually a smokes player, so I want to pick your brain a little bit. So, my first question to you, you're a sophomore at SJSU, and you've seen the vast improvement of your esports team. Is there anything in specific that your team did that allowed you to beat Northwood in that awesome game?
Um, so regarding the top fragging and the smokes role, so our school our players actually, we can all play whatever role and whatever fits with them also fits with me. So whether I would be on Jet, Duelist, or Sentinel or anything, I can really play and the rest of the team can play as well. We're all very flexible, but Sova is the one role that I've thrived as the best and everyone else fits well on their own role. And regarding the what we had to do against Northwood, they're an amazing team. Don't get me wrong. They played hard, took us to map three. I think what really changed the outcome of that game was our huddle after get map two. We got together and we were all like, okay, guys, we gotta like kind of dial in. We gave them a map, which shouldn't really ever happen. We talked about what we need to do. We switched our composition last second, and we kind of went into ascent going into we need a strong defensive side and ending up having to go 9-3 in that half, and then ended out the game pretty smoothly.
Yeah, and so you already talked about your team. So let's dive into that a little bit. Talk to us about like so what are your teammates like? How's your relationship with them? How's the synergy? Walk us through your team.
So I think we have something that not many other collegiate teams have. We've been playing together since the day the beta came out. So as soon as the game came out, the school, I was still looking at schools because I was a senior in high school, and I looked at SJSU. It was my school that I wanted to go to, and I looked at their esports program. They were doing tryouts for the team. As soon as we met them, I trialed. I got on the team. They were all like, "We'd love to have you." So all five of us have been together pretty much since August of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, August of 2020. And but me, Teddy, and Choi, so the core three, we've been playing together since March of 20 or April of 2020.
Yeah, you guys have had a lot of success over since 2020. What would you say has led to that success on like a teammate synergy level?
So synergy wise, we always kind of got along. It's more about friendships that kind of help you get better on the playing field. So we all became good friends, played together in ranked. We didn't scrim much, but we would try to like just get in Discord, talk to each other, blah blah blah, strats, compositions, all like that. So we've been together for quite a while now. So we're kind of just all very close and comfortable with what everyone does.
So I wish I could hear the comms during your games because you guys communicated so clearly in the snippets I heard. But I want to get into a question where it's a little bit more strategic. Is there a different mindset you have when you play Sova versus when you play Omen?
I mean, I'm just going out there to go kill people, to be honest. That's kind of my job. So
Just
I
click
played
heads?
duelist. Yeah, I played duelist for 7 months on a tier 2 team, and it's in my head. Just go out there and go kill people. So like when I play Sova or Omen, you'll kind of see me sometimes just go run out before my duelist and go kill some people. That's just kind of how I've always liked to play.
You're kind of like the leader for your team a little bit in that sense, huh?
I try my best. I try my
You
best.
try your best. Is there a specific player you want to shout out on your team?
I mean, I can't give a specific player. I can just say the whole team, like as a whole, all four of us, we've been working our butts off this whole year, and it finally paid off because we lost in Spain. So we were all like, we got to go get ourselves one.
Yeah, and so this event was obviously at the CECC May Madness, call it what you will. Talk to us about that event. How you felt about it. Like, starting from day one, how you felt as a player, just going through that whole festival.
I mean, it was long for us because we had an overnight flight or a red eye flight, so we didn't get there till like 8 a.m. and we had media day the next day. But it was all pretty smooth. Like to get that many teams and that many PCs out and have that many games for different games, like all that to do in within 2 days is pretty insane how they did it. I mean, of course, you're gonna have technical issues, which happen all the time, but besides that, like it ran really smoothly, a lot smoother than I expected personally.
Did you feel like you guys were getting like, or the I guess all the players in general from your perspective were getting like special treatment? Because like I know there was like the jerseys, there was like a lot of more grandiose to this event. Did it feel like I guess a fancier, as I said in an earlier interview, more bougie event in like standard
Mhm.
esports tournaments?
Definitely there was like a red carpet. We got all our we got new jerseys, media day, all like that. So it definitely felt like very professional.
Awesome. And then we don't talk to too many Valorant players. So one question I've wanted to ask you, especially from playing on the collegiate level, is how do you feel about the state of collegiate Valorant? I mean, like Made Madness did a good job of putting on a high pedestal, and events just kind of pop up. But do you think that the space is in a good place, or would you like to see that scene improve in any way?
I think that the scene is in a good place. But I already know it's going to improve because of the new Riot competitive or college competitive scene that's coming out next year. You guys have probably heard about it.
Mhm.
So that's gonna happen, and that's gonna kind of change how collegiate Valorant is going to be played.
Following up on that question, what is the future for SJSU Valorant?
I can't really say. I'd love to, but
Ooh.
something special is coming soon. Um, but I mean, we're gonna try to be the best team again next semester and the year then for next year as well.
Fantastic. Love to hear it. Well, Eishan, this has been super awesome. We really appreciate you talking to us, and best of luck to your team in the future and the spicy announcements that you have coming down the way.
Yep. Thank you guys.
The Valorant victor in the first ever CECC championship, San Jose State University. And let's recognize the MVP of our CECC Valorant competition today, Nahsie.
Nahsie! Let's make some noise for the MVP of San Jose State University and the champions of the CECC Valorant. Well done.